Jai Hind children, welcome back to my session, and in this session we are going to learn about various list functionings. Okay, in the list functionings, if you have to actually look into, we have many functions to be taken care of, and it will be very effective for us to work with various functions and handy in a way that you can utilize the list in a proper manner. Now, as I was explaining you in the last class, there are many things, and before even I continue with the list functions, I would want you to continue first with what exactly is concatenation of list. So let's first see what exactly is concatenation of list and how does it look. Suppose I want to add two lists. Now you already know that you cannot add of two different types, but you can add something of similar type. So let me explain you this. Now it has to be a list data type. That's all is the criteria. When I say it has to be a list as a criteria, let me take L1 equals to, and I say 10, 20, 30, 40. This is my first list, assuming. I have another list, L2 equals to 100 or 100, 200, 300, 400. When I'm saying this, I can add two lists. I can say L1. It's very easy. I'm just going to concatenate or add two lists. So I'm saying L1 plus L2. And if you can see, it is showing 10, 20, 30, 40 from this L1 list and 100, 200, 300, 400 from the second list. But remember one thing, it is just showing you internally the value of L1 and L2 are not changed. Let me show you this. If I just say L1, it is still having 10, 20, 30, 40, and if I say L2, still holding 100, 200, 300, 400. It is just concatenated for that particular statement. What if I want to store this in a third list called L3? So when I say L3 equals to L1 plus L2. Now what happens? A third list is created, and now I can print this L3 and see whether it is having L1 and L2 all together. Yeah. So depending on your requirement of your program, whether you want it to be done just for that particular moment or it should be further required as a list, then you have to make your conclusions accordingly. This is called as concatenation of list. Now when you are concatenating your list, you have added two different lists. It could be of any data type. Now list, as I said at the starting of the session, that the only criteria is that it has to be a list. Now suppose I have some S1 which is holding a list like ABC, XYZ, PQR. Now when I say this and then I say L1 or S3 or S2 equals to L1 plus S1. Now remember, S1 is a list, yes, and S1 is a list and L1 is also a list. So when you are adding them, it is going to concatenate only based on whether it is a list or not. And when I say enter, it will add them up. It is just having the criteria as L1 and S1 both are list or not. It is not bothered inside internally the elements are what kind of elements. Now when I say S2, if you can see, it has kept the first four with L1 elements and the next three are your string elements. So irrespective of what exactly is the element in it, it will just look for whether it is a list or not to concatenate. Okay, this concludes with concatenation of your list. Now, if at all, sometimes it may so happen that you may want to repeat the numbers again and again, or if you want to repeat the collection again and again, then how do I do it? I can just say L1 into, suppose I want it 3 times, I say star 3. This is the same replication what we used to have in strings also. So if you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, repeated second time 10, 20, 30, 40, repeated third time 10, 20, 30, 40. So you are repeating or replicating it 3 times. So this concludes with your concatenation part, and this concludes with your replication part. These are the two important things which you have to remember while doing your list. It can be a very handy tool when you want to use them. Next, coming to the in operator has already been told to you in your previous class. Now coming to the methods. There are various methods which are used in list. Now in order to know what are the different methods, I'll just tell you how to create a method using a constructor. Method using a constructor, like a list using a constructor, can be done by using, let's say L1, L2 is already used, L3 is used, L4. L4 equals to, I can say list, which is a constructor which creates the list internally, and I'm using it right now on my Python shell. And I say L4 equals to list of, and I say enter. That means to say one list called L4 is created. Just a moment. Okay, L4 is created. So list of is created on L4, and let me see what is there in L4. It is just a list and which is empty, so it is showing an empty list. Right? So this is a way to create an empty list. Or you can also create it using giving some values, which I've also explained in my previous topic. Let's say L5 equals to list of, and I can pass the whole value to it. Let's say 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, and now when I say L5, you can see the list created. This is a constructor with not initializing the value, and this is a constructor which passes a value. So you can take it like that from object oriented point of view. So after knowing how to create it using the constructors of list, let's go next to appending. Now what exactly is appending? The name itself says that appending is adding at the end is appending. I would like to say this like this. Adding at the end. Adding at the end is appending. Just very easy to remember. Right? Adding at the end is appending. Now if at all I want to add in L5, 3 ones are 3 twos are 3 threes are 3 fours are, I want to add 3 fives are 15. So how do I do it? I can say L5 dot append, and I can give what the value is. I'll say 15. I want to append 15 into the list. Now what happens? Let's see. If I just say L5, it is going to show me all the elements. Has it added 15 at the end? Yes, it has added 15 at the end. So this is called appending. You are adding something at the end of the list. So very easy. You have to mention the list name, separate it with the dot operator, and give the name of the method, or you can call it as function, whatever you feel comfortable with. L5 dot append, and you can specifically pass the parameter what number or value you wish to add at the end of the list L5. That explains it all. Coming to the extend, your second method which I would like to talk about is extend. Extend method extends the list by either extending using list or by, okay, it's by list actually, by using list. In either ways, whether you give the name of the list or by giving the list. So let's see if at all I want to add something, extend the list L5. Two ways I'm going to show you. L5 dot extend, okay, and I can say extend. L5 dot extend, and I'm giving one list called, let's say, which one do I take? I'm taking L1 with me again. Okay, so if I say L5 dot extend and L1, that means to say whatever is there in L5, extend it using the list called L1. So L5 is having 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and now extend that further using L1. L1 is having 10, 20, 30, 40. So let's see what it does. Has it done it? It has extended using the list provided here. Right? Taking another example with this, L5 dot extend, and I can say let me take a different kind of value. And if I do this now, since it is of the form list, it is going to extend it further. Now L5 will not be only this much, it will continue with 100 and 300 also. So let's see what it gives. Right? So this is what is extension. Extension, as in this example, I've just directly put a list here, and here it is an existing list which was already there with me. In either case, it's again adding at the end, because extending is again how exactly you can extend a existing list. Right? Now coming to insert function. When I'm saying insert, what happens in the insert function is, inserting is not exactly appending. Inserting is in between anywhere you want to do it, then you call it as inserting. Specifically at the end of the list, then you say appending. But inserting is kahin pe beech mein fix hona. So what we are going to do with inserting, insert method is used to insert, or let me say to place anywhere in inside the list. Now when we are saying this, suppose I want to insert after 15, I want the next 3 table, so it will be 18. Now if I want to insert at this place, I also know where exactly I want to insert. That's why I want to insert, right? If I knew that I have to put it at the end, I'm going to use append. But if I know I have to insert in this place somewhere else, then I know the place where exactly I want to insert. So let's again reiterate with what we had learned earlier. My index starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the 5th position, this is going to take up 18. So how do I insert? I'm going to say L5 dot insert, and my first parameter or argument would be the index number followed by the object or the value. So my index was what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 is my index. At fifth index position, I want the value 18 to be inserted. Now let's see whether it does. Has it inserted? Yes, very much inserted. So this is your insert function. I hope this is not going to be very difficult to understand. Inserting is just putting the value somewhere in between, anywhere in the list. Okay. Coming to the count. Count can be a very interesting topic for you, because there would be scenarios wherein you may want to count how many times this 6 is occurring, or how many times this 10 is occurring, or how many times 30 is occurring. Okay, so let me first insert one number again. I'm using l5 dot append, and I'm saying 15. Now 15 is at two places, one at the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4th position, and one at the end of the list. So 15 is occurring here and here. Now this count method, we are going to use count method now. Count method is used to count the number of times a value exists in list. Value exists. Okay. So as we go with this, l5 dot, the method name is count, and I say I want to count this 15. How many times is this 15 occurring in this particular list? And I say enter. It is giving me an answer saying that we have it 2 times. Fine. Suppose I take up the same thing again and I make the changes and I say 5. Is 5 existing? It is not even existing. So it has to say 0. It will not throw error. It will say that it is not there are 0 number of 5. And let's say 9. 9 is occurring only once. So it is going to give 1. So this is how the count works. We have few more methods to be discussed. We are not discussing it all together today. In my next class, I'm going to continue with further methods. Then we are going to take up lots of sample questions which we can use for the list. Right? So if you have any questions or any doubts, you can write to me on the YouTube channel itself. I'll surely get back to you. With that, thank you. Jai Hind and have a nice day.